So today we're going to integrate Jenkins and Fortify on demand as a part of our CI/CD pipeline. So I'm going to go ahead and start that process. So I'm going to go into Fortify on demand, and I'm going to gather a couple pieces of information that I'm going to need later inside of Jenkins to be able to set up my pipeline and do builds and automatically kick off scans inside of Fortify on demand. So I'm going to go over here, get my personal access token. As you can see here, I've already created a couple, but I'm going to go ahead and add another one just to show you what that looks like. And I'm just going to call this one test 2. And it automatically sets it to 180 days, and that's fine. Authorize APIs, and I'm going to go ahead and apply all of the different scopes. And I'm going to save that. And then that's going to generate the secret key, which I'm going to save here for later because we're going to need that inside of Jenkins. So I'm going to go ahead and save that. And I'm going to close that. And now I'm going to go ahead and go into my application. And I already have a build out here. And I'm going to go ahead and click on my build. And I'm going to go ahead and hit Start Static Scan. And now I'm going to set up my scan details. So I've actually already gone through the process of setting that up. So I'm going to click Static Scan. I'm going to choose my entitlements. So I'm going to choose subscription. And I'm going to choose a manual upload. And this is a Java application, so I'm going to click Java. And this is Java 11, so I'm going to choose Java 11. And I'm going to choose an automated audit preference. So now I'm going to grab my BSI token, and I'm going to save that because we're going to need that inside of Jenkins as well. So I'm going to go ahead and save that. And now I'm going to save my build. And now it's saved, and I'm going to go into Jenkins. So now I already have my freestyle project set up inside of Jenkins for my regular build. So now I'm going to go ahead and configure Fortify on demand inside of Jenkins. First thing that you're going to need to do is go and configure the plugin itself. So if you go out here and click configure. Oh, I'm sorry. Actually, if you go into manage Jenkins and manage plugins, now you can come out here and search for available plugins and search for Fortify. And it's not showing because I already have it installed, but you can see that it's actually Fortify on demand. So you're going to want to pick and enable Fortify on demand and install that. So once Fortify on demand is installed, you're going to want to go back to your pipeline. I'm going to click on my WebGoat pipeline, and I'm going to go to configure. So I have this set up with my GitHub project, and I have, I'm not doing source code management on this, and I just have it set to build out of my source location, which is in my local drive. Good thing to note here, you'll definitely want to include the dependencies as a part of your source location. So make sure it's a folder location where you've not only uploaded your source code, but also included all of your different dependencies. We don't need your test dependencies or anything like that, or any minutated source code, or I'm sorry, JavaScript. But we definitely need all the underlying dependencies for the particular code. So I'm going to go ahead and enter my personal access token information. So you'll definitely want to include a post-action build step. That's how you get to these things. So if I go in and click post-action build step and choose Fortify on demand, and you'll also want to choose pull Fortify on demand for results. So that way we'll get back any information that we get from our scan to identify if there's any critical issues, and if we want to fail the build based on not passing policy. So for this, I'm going to go ahead and enter in my username that I use to log into FOD. I'm going to enter in my personal access token, which I've already done, that we saved from earlier. And I'm going to enter in my tenant ID. And this is the tenant ID that you normally use to log into FOD. And I've already chosen subscription. So this is a subscription only scan, because I want to scan it on a regular basis. Otherwise, you can do a single scan to do it as a one-time action, but because we're integrating this into our CI/CD pipeline, I'm going to be doing this on a regular basis as I do my builds. And I want to choose a remediation scan if available. That way it'll do a follow-up scan and rescan for anything that I might have already fixed upon me fixing it. And the scan options, I want to choose action, what happens when a scan is in progress. So because I'm going to do regular builds with Jenkins, there may be scans that are already in progress. Maybe I want to kick off another build. So what I'm going to do is actually go ahead and cancel the previous scan. That way I can start up a fresh scan without breaking my build pipeline. So I'm going to go ahead and hit cancel scan and then start. I'm going to enter in my BSI token from earlier, and I'm going to put that in here for pull on results. And that sets up the ability to pull. So now I'm going to go ahead and set up some additional polling as well. So I'm going to go ahead and enter in my username again, personal access token, and tenant ID. I'm going to set my polling interval to 1 minute, which is the default. And I want to have it fail if it doesn't meet my security policy. And I can go ahead and test my connection to Fortify, make sure it's successful. I can go back up here to do the same. And it's successful. So now I'm going to go ahead and hit save. And I'm going to go ahead and kick off a build. So now my build is scheduled and you can see it's already in motion. So now it's going to go through the process of building my application and actually kicking off a Fortify on-demand scan. And it's going to run through the scanning process. So I'm going to get an email about the scan being kicked off. The scan is going to run all the way through. It's going to complete. And then I'm going to get back results right in the Jenkins console. So we'll just go ahead and wait for that scan to finish up. All right, so now the Fortify on-demand scan has finished. The pull is complete. So it's now showing 32 critical items and 2 hot. So then what that means is basically my policy has failed, so my build has now failed. And that explanation is shown right here. So pull, this is not, and it's now changed my my build to a failure. So I can actually click here on this link, and it'll actually take me right to Fortify on demand, and I can actually see the issues that have arisen. So I can, get details right here about which issues I need to address and how they need to be addressed. So now I can see here all the individual issues that have come up, and I can get recommendations on how to fix them and what they are, all right inside of Fortify on Demand. And I can do all of that right from Jenkins. That's all for today. Thank you very much.